Welcome in to another edition of the Cavalier Connection. I'm your host, Jeff, joined tonight by Jay, and I think we may have a guest with us. We got Jack.
Hey, what's going on? I'm Jack.
National celebrity.
I'm not a national celebrity. I'm just a family member of a host and a friend of a host looking to have a good time on this podcast.
All right. Yeah. So tonight this morning, we want to discuss the transfer portal and the Virginia football. It's been a lot of action going since the portal hit and since we had these anonymous donations. And before we get started, did want to mention our partners over at Mincer. So listen, we are airing this morning, Christmas Eve, December the 24th. I know, unfortunately, there's a lot of males out there, men out there, who are scrambling around.
I'm one of them.
Ladies, yeah, Jack's been one of them. Ladies, I know you're looking for that last stocking stuffer. I know you're scrambling. You got a UVA fan in your life, and you forgot to go buy the UVA gear. Well, the positive thing is Mincer's is open today. This is it for Christmas Eve. It's open today, Christmas Eve, be closed tomorrow. Your time is almost up. Pretty sure their hours today are 10 to 6. Call, check the website, verify. They have two locations. One's in Charlottesville at the corner. Elton Brown told us that's a hot area. The other one is at their easy parking, free parking location at the Stonefield Shopping Center. You got to get over there today and finish that Christmas shopping for the UVA fan in your life. Don't miss out on your opportunity to spoil the UVA fan in your life with a gift from Mincer's, a family tradition since 1948. That's Mincer's, friend of the program. Please don't miss out. I mean, can you imagine the Virginia fan in your life coming down Christmas morning, going to the stocking, and they're pulling out and there's nothing there from Mincer's? Mm-hmm. Can you imagine? Oh, that's okay. Let me open a few gifts. And you open your gifts and there's nothing there from Mincer's.
Some boring socks or pants that aren't Virginia sweatpants.
Belts.
And you know what else Mincer's has? Orange tag sales. Go in there, catch one of those orange tag sales. You might walk out with a $10 t-shirt. You might walk out with a $10 hat. Like, go hit the orange tag sale. You'll be happy because the person in your life is happy when they open that gift. Definitely head into Mincer's today.
I feel like we need to be playing It's the Final Countdown.
It is no question. It is the final countdown. If I will say, if you miss out and you don't come through, they will be back open on the 26th. So you can go in and do a little makeup shopping.
Yeah. Or visit Mincers.com.
Or then you go to Mincers.com.
You know what? I ordered it, but it didn't make it on time.
Oh, now
you can blame it on somebody.
Now the moral situation of the Cavalier Connection is coming into question. The thou shalt not lie is coming into question because Jay's telling you to lie. But hey, transfer portal's heated up. Since it opened up, we got an anonymous donation. We don't know what the millions were, multi-million. Then we got another anonymous donation matching up to $3 million.
So by my counts, that's probably 6 because I would say they probably matched, right? So matched up to 3 means you get 3, and then I matched at 3, so that's 6. If
to go with everything else, and Virginia was ranked 13th nationwide in transfer portal. I mean, not transfer portal. I'm sorry, NIL money. So they've been spending. A couple quarterbacks brought in Chandler Morris out of North Texas, Daniel Kalen out of Nebraska. So it looks like this will be Chandler Morris's job, with Daniel Kalen being the guy in waiting. But you also have Bjorn Jurgensen that is coming in as a freshman. reading Two Guard. Listen, Two Guard, if you're listening, appreciate you because you are full of information. A lot of what you say is coming to tuition. I know you say you're not an insider, and I get it, but I do appreciate reading your tweets. So I think he said something. He just said about a quarterback coming in 26. So it's got to be Eli Hamrick, potentially maybe looking another direction. Did you see that one?
I did, and I didn't catch 26. I just saw recruit, and so I was thinking, okay, I hope it's not our boy Bjorn. But
No,
if it's 26, it's got to be Eli because
Yeah.
he's the only 26 guy we've got.
Yeah. So we got defensive back Devin Neal from Louisville. That's a great pickup. He was a third team All ACC. You get the guy out of Elon on the defense. So the defensive line got a lot of help. Kazim Moore, that's another one that I believe Two Guard was talking about. Excuse me, having some issues here. Jason Privard, the defensive back out of Morgan State. Jacob Holmes, defensive tackle out of Fresno State. We get the running back out of North Carolina Central, Jamari Taylor. Also, Two Guard tonight, I was reading. He says there's another running back who really wants to come to Virginia, who we don't know if Virginia's even going to offer, but they said he would be able, as much as we love Xavier, he would be pushing Xavier. That's how talented this guy is. Brady Wilson, offensive lineman out of UAB. That's the center, right? Is that the center?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
And he was rated really high. You got Maddox Marcellus, linebacker out of Eastern Kentucky. Then we get the receiver out of Purdue, Jamal Edrin. And then the big one, which just committed today, which is we're recording this on the 23rd, Hunter Osborne, the defensive lineman out of Alabama. We did not get the receiver out of Alabama, but that's a big
he went
deal.
to Kansas. He committed to Kansas today.
So, Jack, y'all want to talk for a minute? I'm a mute. I'm a hack is a coming.
Yeah, so I think we've kind of rebuilt the defense, and we needed to because we had a lot of guys that were, out of eligibility, and then we had a few guys transfer out. And so I'm really excited about this kid out of Alabama. 4-star kid, redshirt in 23. This past year, I think he played in just 4 games. And so he's got 3 years of eligibility left, and obviously talented. Alabama doesn't recruit kids that aren't talented, and we need a game wrecker in the middle. We had Jameer Carter and some of the guys like that, but I think you're talking about a different level of athlete when you're talking about a Hunter Osborne, and we haven't had that. So I'm hoping. Not only am I hoping he brings the talent, I'm hoping he brings that dog mentality. And I don't know him, and I don't know his, I don't know his personality. I don't know anything about him. But I hope, you're going to Alabama. I hope you've got that dog. And then the other guy that I'm excited about all of them. But Maddox Marcellus, he was looked at as a big time get. He had 97 tackles last year at Eastern Kentucky. 2 interceptions, 5 passes defended, a forced fumble, and he was all United Athletic Conference first teamer. So, and he has 2 years of eligibility. So, you're getting some pieces that are young. Those 2 on the defense, and we're we added Jacob Holmes, another defensive lineman, Kazim Moore. To rush off the edge. I do think we're going to probably bring in another edge rusher from everything I'm reading. The quarterbacks, let's talk about them for a minute. Chandler Morris is going to be your starter next year. I think he was 4th in the country last year in touchdown passes. I mean, I don't know if people really understand how big of a get that is for Virginia. He's like Kandria on steroids. Kandria, what you wanted with Kandria, the production, he's actually got the production. And so obviously I think he can pick up systems quickly. We're his fourth stop. I don't think he really played at Oklahoma, but he started.
He played it. I say he played at TCU though.
He did. He played at TCU.
And he had some big games
started
there
his
too.
career at Oklahoma, played at TCU, and then last year was at North Texas and was, outstanding. And he's got ties to Tony Elliott. His dad and Coach Elliott worked together at Clemson some, I believe. But then this kid, I think everybody assumed was going to be like the big get, Caitlin out of Nebraska. I mean, he's a 6'3", 220, was Elite 11 kid, had offers from Miami, North Carolina, Colorado, Florida State. I mean, so some big schools coming after these guys. And, we've totally rebuilt that room in just a matter of a little bit of time. And we talk all the time during the season. You've got to have a quarterback. Nothing else matters if you don't have a quarterback. After that, you got to protect your quarterback, and you got to be able to go after theirs.
Yep.
And so, I think we've done a pretty good job of getting the quarterbacks. I think we're working really hard and gotten some good guys on the defensive line to go get their quarterback. Now we got to get some guys. We got one. This center from UAB, and I'm trying to think of his name. Brady. Help me out, Jeff. Are you looking at it, Jack?
Brady Wilson.
Yeah, Brady Wilson. He was like a Remington finalist, I believe. If he
that's
wasn't,
a big time get. That's a big time get.
Right. Yeah, he was. He's a huge get. 3-year starter. He's played over 2,300 snaps in college. So you're getting somebody allowed 2 sacks in 485 passing block snaps. You think about how many sacks we gave up last year. Multiple games where we gave up more than 9 sacks.
And we had issues at center too.
Yeah,
just
being at center. Once Stevens got hurt,
right,
that was like the end of the O-line, period.
Downfall. Yep.
So you put Wilson and then we do still have Boley is still in the fold, although I've read that he could potentially enter. We haven't heard that officially, so we're going to say he's in the fold right now. We there were some positive pieces on the O-line. So I don't want to say it was all bad. But we need some more. We definitely need some more. And tonight, just breaking now, in the last few minutes, I'm reading that there's a really good likelihood, as in could be announced any minute, might be announced by the time you hear this, that we're getting the kid from JMU that's got 1 year left, Tyshawn Wyatt. So that would be another super experienced guy to go on the O-line with the guys that we have. So I'm super excited. Jack, what have you seen so far? What are you most excited about?
Yeah, no, I've told my dad this a couple times now over the last few weeks. They manage to do it every year. They're reeling me back in because very similar situation last year where all hope is lost. We got blown out by Virginia Tech, but then all of a sudden you get a Chris Tyree, you get a Terrell Harris, you get all these names, and it was exciting again. And now they're reeling me back in because they're getting some very exciting names. You have the big donation that started it all off, which, by the way, whoever, if you're out there watching this who donated this, just know the 3 of us, we appreciate you heavily. I've been through a lot as a Virginia fan, so we appreciate your dedication to the program. So that's what started it off. So many good names. I'll start with the quarterback, Chandler Morris. Sounds fun. He sounds like a very fun quarterback. You can't say that he has not played tough competition because he's played at a school like TCU, because TCU's definitely had some tough games on their schedule the last few years. They've been contending a lot of those years. And even at North Texas, you're still going to play some tough CUSA teams. I just think that that's going to be a great get. The only concern, and I know a lot of other people have said this, is the whole height situation, because Kandria, very similar situation. He's more of a shorter guy, and he kind of struggled getting that ball. I don't know how to explain what I'm trying to say. Just he has a tough time getting the ball out, but I think he's going to be a better Kandria for sure.
I think what you're saying is that Dez doesn't run patterns for the quarterbacks that make it where the wide receivers flash in front of them.
Yeah, and this is my next point. Is my other concern is the thing that is constant that hasn't changed is Des Kitchens, and he will be staying. It sounds like there's no chance that he goes anywhere. So that's the thing is, you talk about the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different results. If Des Kitchens can't clean himself up this coming year, then Chandler Morris is just going to be another wasted quarterback, and unfortunately for him, he won't be going to the NFL or anything. So I'm really hoping Des Kitchens can clean it up, because if he cleans it up, I think we got ourselves a nice little quarterback. And the same thing that you said, to kind of piggyback, Jay, I really thought that Daniel Kalen was going to be the guy. We got him that Sunday morning. I was really excited for him. So many years of eligibility. But now we're going to have an interesting quarterback battle in the coming years. Once Chandler Morris is out and gone, because I expect him to have a starting job in his final year. That's why he would come to Virginia. After that, though, you have Daniel Kalen, who's going to have many years of eligibility. You're going to have Bjorn Jorgensen. You're going to have Cole Gear. A lot of people forget about Cole Gear. You're going to have a three-way battle for quarterback. I don't expect all three of them to stay after this coming season because of the playing time situation, but it's going to be a lot of fun to see who can kind of prevail in that, and also to be the backup quarterback. I'd expect that Daniel Kalen will be the backup, but you never know if Bjorn can do anything or Cole Gear. So that's quarterback. It's exciting. We'll see what happens with Des Kitchens, but the thing I'm probably most concerned about is that offensive line. And I know we're getting a couple of nice people, and there's some people on the way. It's just the offensive line year in and year out has been the biggest issue with this football team, I'd say. And a lot of people said it before the season when we were doing our preseason interviews with Ahmad Hawkins, Sony Covington, John Freeman. They all had one thing in common. They're saying this team will go at or above 500 if we play well in the trenches. We will beat Virginia Tech if we play well in the trenches. And we did not play well in the trenches down the stretch. It was bad. I mean, throughout the beginning of the season, too. Once everybody was getting hurt, it was over for us. The offensive line was terrible. That is the biggest concern for me. But we're bringing in some guys. Some of these names look good. Brady Wilson's probably my favorite name. That's really exciting. But, I mean, Mikhail Boley, I hope he returns. We'll see. But overall, I'd love to go out and at least get one more offensive line guy. I think that's very reasonable. A guy that's going to be a starter, a guy with experience. Wilson's definitely my favorite, though. I think that's going to be great. And then Jamari Taylor kind of interested me from North Carolina Central. He had some interesting numbers, 2,500 yards from scrimmage and 32 touchdowns over the last 3 seasons with North Carolina Central. That's pretty good. Will he have that starting job? I don't know. I think X is going to have that starting job. That's an interesting name. But the really interesting names, you look at that defensive line. You bring in a guy like Jacob Holmes from Fresno State, 300 pounds of meat right there on your defensive line at defensive tackle. And then you got your boy Hunter Osborne, breaking news between this morning. It was official this morning, came out last night. Hunter Osborne out of the University of Alabama, transferring into the University of Virginia. And I think, again, to piggyback off of what you said, it's just huge to have a guy, an athlete that went to Bama to come into here. Because if you got into Bama, that means you are a strong guy. It means you are powerful. It means that you can lift the weights and you are an SEC athlete. Whether you can start at Bama or not, the fact that you made that team and you got an offer from them originally, that guy's going to be a monster in the ACC because, let's be honest, the ACC is terrible. We learned that just this last weekend, as if we didn't already know. Hunter Osborne's going to be great for the guys. For him to match up with the guy from Fresno State, I think the defensive line might be scary. I really hope it ends up being scary. Also to go along with Jason Hammond, who's going to be able to get healthy, as well as Anthony Britton, I believe, has a couple more years of eligibility. I think that defensive line is going to be scary. But hopefully we get more defensive backs, I'd say. But overall, I mean, other than that, I mean, I think Virginia's killing it in the portal right now. And I hope they're not done. I really hope they got some more names that are potentially coming in. I know the Morgan State guy came in for a defensive back, but I'd like to see some more as well.
Let me add, I do want to, I hope y'all are all correct. Just to poo-poo on the Alabama thing, though. Who's the last Alabama transfer we got in?
Oh, I know. I know the answer. Do you know the answer?
I don't know the answer.
He's a 757 guy.
Philip Sims out of Oscar Smith.
Oh.
And he we said the same stuff. Oh boy, big things are ahead. And
but I think it's a little bit different with the lineman.
I think it's different because the thing is with the lineman, he is going to be, if you have an SEC offer, he is going to be built. As opposed to Philip Sims, that's a whole quarterback, anything can happen. At line, It is, yeah, it's about technique, but you've got to be strong. And I think Virginia doesn't. They sometimes lack those strong. Like for example, when we played Tennessee last year, it was pure SEC athletes versus ACC athletes. They don't mix together. The SEC athletes will always be bigger, stronger. They can run the ball all over us, all over that they want. We can't run the ball in SEC schools. I can tell you that right now. And I think it is different for a lineman.
I agree. I was just,
I know.
I got to play devil's advocate, but
yeah.
One name we haven't brought up so far, guys, is a spot where we have a lot of opportunity. Malachi Fields entered the portal, unfortunately. Yep. Hats off to him, though. Congratulations to him. He committed today to Notre Dame. But a name that we have not brought up yet is Jamal Edrine. I hope I'm saying that right, Edrine. Wide receiver out of Purdue. He comes in. He's got 2 years left. He was their leading receiver last year, but they didn't have a whole lot of production. 365 receiving yards on 23 catches.
23 catches.
But I look at him like, a Trell Harris type. I don't think anybody knew how good Trell Harris was. I think Trell Harris is awesome.
Oh yeah.
I think Two Guard had said maybe a week or so ago that schools were contacting Trell trying to get him in the portal, which, as we know, is illegal, but it doesn't matter. It happens all the time.
Illegal.
If Trell Harris is healthy,
if we can keep Trell and hopefully pair this kid and I would say there's a good chance. Obviously, we're still looking to fill wide receiver through the portal because we had the Alabama kid in who we lost out to Kansas today. But I'm sure we've got opportunity. We throw the ball a lot, and the playing time is open. I feel like we lost J.R. Wilson. I would have liked to have had him come back. I think he had a lot of opportunity. Jaden Gibson. We lost a lot of depth at receiver, so we need to refill that room.
You know who else I'm also excited for at receiver? Not a transfer, obviously, but I think we have a lot of opportunity with Cameron Courtney. He played as a true freshman this year for the Hoos in a couple of games. He has some upside. He had a lot of run in that Maryland game, as well as in that Virginia Tech game. He got a couple targets too. He has a lot of speed. He also has some size to him. I think they're going to get him way more involved this coming year. He's only a true sophomore coming up this year. I think he has a lot of opportunities. So I think the receiving core will be okay with the mixture of course, Andre Green. Terrell Harris is the biggest name, in my opinion. And then obviously Jamal Edrine from Purdue. And then who am I missing? Did I say Andre Green, I think? And Cam Courtney. I think they can all mix together for a good group. But I will say I would like to see at least one more pickup from receiver as well to solidify that. But I think we'll be fine there. Again, it's just the offensive line is such a big issue because while Calandra was bad last year, don't get me wrong, he ended up being awful. You can't help but blame the offensive line for some of the struggles because he was constantly being pressured every single play, never had time to throw the ball. So that's one of the biggest issues because our receivers were talented. If we could get them to get down if we had time to get them down the field, they could get open. They could make some plays, especially with Malachi Fields and Terrell Harris. I think if we could just solidify that offensive line, we'll be just fine at receiver.
And I will say this, and I wasn't thinking about this, and it's probably a reason that we haven't been as aggressive in the portal is I don't think they grade recruiting classes by position. But if they did, I think Virginia's incoming recruiting class at wide receiver is probably as good as we've had in a very long time.
For sure.
I mean, we've got, Isaiah Robinson, Josiah Abdullah, the kid from Dylan from Matoka, Dylan Newton Short. Those three guys were all recruited by SEC level schools.
Yep.
And Josiah decommitted from Florida, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yep.
Dylan, I think it came down to us in South Carolina for him, if I'm remembering that correctly. Isaiah, he was on board early, but a lot of people really liked him and came after him hot as well. And, freshmen can come in. Look at the kid from Alabama. he blew the roof off the place his first year at 17 years old. So if these guys come in and they're ready, there's opportunity.
Yeah. I think Trell Harris last year, if he's healthy, we might win one more game.
Yeah,
and we might be bowl eligible. Because we just didn't have anybody who could really Chris Tyree was supposed to be the guy, but he just never was. Who could stretch the field, which would open up everything else, over the middle, and the Malachi to be able to go to work. And like Ball Hawk, I believe, would say, with Malachi, just throw the ball up to the guy, but we wouldn't do that.
Right.
He'll go get it. But it definitely, transfer portal's been exciting.
What did you guys think about Kandria going to UNLV?
I think it's a good spot for him. Go out west, get a start over. He's not in ACC. Didn't go to Syracuse. Ole Miss seemed like it had been over his head.
Oh man. Well, I mean,
wasn't that the school though that promised the money?
Yes.
So I'm wondering, what, because he wasn't even visiting UNLV. It was Syracuse, Pitt, and Ole Miss.
Ole Miss, yeah.
And then next thing you know, he's committed to UNLV. He's not even been on a visit, unless he did that under wraps.
Yeah. He got a promise of some money.
He might have already had some stuff lined up too. You don't know.
And
I mean, I just think I think the Ole Miss thing would have been ridiculous. Hey, maybe with a different offensive coordinator or a different offensive line, he'd be a whole different player. We don't know, but I just don't see how he can get a starting job at a school like Ole Miss. But it is what it is. I think UNLV is a good fit for him as well, though. Go out west. You get a group of 5. You'll play some more of your level of competition, in my opinion, anyways. But you know what scenario kind of played in my head when he entered the transfer portal, though? Could Anthony Kandria commit to a school like New Mexico or wherever Mendenhall is going now?
Utah State.
Utah State, that's right. Could he commit to Utah State or something like that? Could you imagine if he went to Bronco?
That's the only place I wouldn't want him to go because I think he would succeed.
I think he would too.
I mean, Petty J is going to come out here.
Petty J, Jesus.
And look, I just lost a lot of respect for him, just in the way that it went down, and rumors of we're not in the locker room. I'm hoping we'll have a player on soon that will tell us the truth about the whole situation.
That's not happening.
I don't know. You never know.
There's the only
former players, Jeff, not guys that are still on the roster.
Those Virginia guys, they're tight-lipped.
It's probably true. I mean, I don't like the way it went down. The truth is, he didn't play very well this year.
He'll be at there. I don't like the way he conducted the whole thing. I do. There's another side of me that says he got screwed this year too. I believe Des Kitchens ruined that guy.
Oh yeah, I think Kitchens.
And that's the screw job. That's the screw job I'm saying. So like for him to have those kind of emotions, he's sophomore. He was a sophomore this year. Kids of that age are gonna think differently than us as older folks who have matured a little bit. I think he's going to go to UNLV and be successful for 1 year. And with his personality, he's going to be right back in the portal next year. That's just mark it down tonight, December 23rd at 10:10 p.m. as you're listening in the morning. As you're listening on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
That Jeff from the Cavalier Connection predicts that Kandria will be successful at UNLV and will be back in the transfer portal for his senior season. And he'll be going somewhere else.
I wouldn't mind him if he was. This is what just kills me. How is he the number 3 ranked quarterback in the portal?
Because they watched him play as a freshman at Virginia and they saw what the potential is. That's why I'm saying Des Kitchens screwed that dude. He screwed him. And then
6 foot, right? Listed 6 foot.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. He's not a 4.5 40 guy.
Right.
He doesn't have a bullet arm. Like he's a nice college quarterback.
He's got
In a good system. He's a nice college quarterback.
Yeah, no, I know, but he's got a little moxie about him that Kitchens just. I think they worried so much about the turnovers at the start of the year.
Yeah,
that he wasn't
they played
himself.
scared.
And then, the play
The
calling
O-line got hurt and it was over.
O-line was hurt. The play calling was so bad. Like he's not talented enough to overcome all of that, all of those obstacles. And so, listen, I don't know how old he is, 20 years old. At 20, I don't care for the way he conducted himself. However, he's 20 years old. As Virginia folks, as you said on X, we could be we could potentially be petty on it, I understand. It ticks you off, but on the flip side, I could understand him leaving. I don't like the way of all reports we've read, if it's all true, I don't like that at all.
Yeah.
And but this 20-year-old making a potentially, in conducting himself immaturely.
And here's the other side of that too, Joe and Jack, is that you hear people on Twitter saying, well, he left UVA for a better program. Like, first of all, no. UNLV might have had a better season. They might have had a better 5-year period. I don't know UNLV football, but I can tell you as a program, they're not a better program than Virginia. They're not a Power 4 conference. They haven't been number 1 ranked in the country in my lifetime. I mean,
don't use that as an argument on the number one.
I'm gonna say this. We used to be ranked routinely.
Yeah. Well, Jay, you know what?
25. If that's your
UVA hasn't been ranked in the top 25, but maybe twice in my lifetime. So there you go.
I'm just saying that's not like something to just say our program is better than your program. Let's look at facilities. I'd venture to say that our facilities are far better than theirs. NIL money, probably far better than theirs. Again, I just think people that say he went to a better program, that's a leap.
I agree. I agree. He definitely took a step down. I think he's going to do well, though. I think he'll play just fine. I think with the new offensive coordinator, he'll have a weaker schedule. I think, and let's face it here, and Virginia played a very tough schedule this past year. Now, granted, even some of the quote-unquote weaker games we struggled with too, but we played a tough schedule this year. It could be tough. He's going to play a weaker schedule with UNLV. I think it's a good fit for him.
Our schedule this year is much easier.
To play devil's advocate, just off of you saying us being ranked and all that 50 years ago, UNLV at one point this year had hopes and potential to would have been playing this past weekend.
They were the school.
It's not real.
Were they not?
I know, but us being we were ranked number 1 in 1990. That's been 34 years ago. George Welsh has passed away, and I don't know what year he passed away. He passed away a little while ago. Al Groh came in and got us up there ranked for a few years.
Number 4 in the country.
But how many years ago has that been? Over 20 years ago. 2004. I can tell you the year.
Yeah, I was saying it was 04. So 20 years ago.
20 years ago. We're a long ways from that because who was after Al Groh? Mike London. And we did make an Orange Bowl Peach Bowl with London. We got a good
year. I think we were ranked in that season.
Yeah, but look.
And then we had Bronco. We were in the Orange Bowl.
Yeah, our program though has taken some flops
for sure.
And so I don't even want to discuss us being ranked. I mean,
the more we talk about it, the more upset I am.
In the program history, we're a better program. I believe potentially we're moving. I would say we're comparable programs, and we're potentially moving, hopefully, in a better direction. But to say that we're leaps above and beyond UNLV in football,
I said it was a leap to say that they're better. They're a better program. That's a leap.
No, I know, but I don't think it's a leap. I think it's a skip.
I think your best argument isn't the skill. Your best argument is the facilities. I'd say we'd have the better NIL because, especially with these latest donation and stuff. The only thing is, I feel like I don't know why. I don't have research on this. I feel like UNLV has a good NIL being where in their location. But from a standpoint of facilities, from NIL, from everything else, being a Power 4 school, yes, this is the better program. But from a skill, we might be the better skill program. I don't know. This is not an argument I would use. That's all.
Well, we'll find out. I'm excited for the season. I'm excited what we've done to transfer.
Yeah, we got to wait a whole year.
And the thing that gives me hesitation is Des Kitchens. So
for sure.
And so that gives me the hesitation. But dear God, could we have a good year? Because if not,
here's my hope, Jeff, is that Ballhawk said, if you thought Elliott was going to make staff changes the day before, the signing day or something like that, you're crazy. So all that makes sense. I get it. But we're far enough out now where I hope that maybe like one of these new jobs, somebody takes a new head coaching job, and then Tony's like, all right, you go take that job or I got to let you go. And so I'm still hopeful. I doubt it happens. I don't think it will. But
yeah,
I'm hopeful that Dez will exit stage left.
Or how about Tony Elliott? Why don't you take over the play calling duties?
Yeah, I saw that as somebody, I don't remember who said it, but if your job's on the line and you know that you were
we just saw Brent Pry do it. Those guys over at Blacksburg did it because Brent Pry knows he's on the hot seat.
Well, he just fired both his coordinators and his strength coach.
And he's taking over the play calling. So at least that's what was said anyways at the presser. So I just you see them doing it. If you're Elliott, you've got to understand, like, hey, if you go under 500 this year, it might be it for you. And I love Coach Elliott. I love him so much. I like him much better than I have as the person than all the other guys in Bronco and Mike London. But you got to get the job done. You got to win football games. You can't just bring in recruits. You can't just bring in transfers and all this and that. Especially now, if you're bringing in this NIL money that we're getting now, you have no excuse.
Well, and
you have zero
excuse. Going to be expected by millionaires.
Yes.
And when millionaires don't get their way, millionaires demand change.
This is the kind. Not that I'm comparing UVA on anywhere close to the same level as this school, but this is like when you have in Ohio State, and they're saying the donors who donate millions of dollars to Ohio State football, which is a historically amazing program, when they're donating millions of dollars, they will get their way. The fact that Ryan Day almost got fired after one college football playoff game is all you need to hear. Because he lost to Michigan, the donors are tired of him. Yeah, let's get rid of him. That's the kind of level. Now, again, UVA isn't even close to a comparable program as Ohio State, but it's the same story. You have millions of dollars put onto this program, and you can't produce results. That sometimes can mess with your job quota.
This is eerily similar to Mike London, though. Mike London could recruit his tail off, but we couldn't win on the field.
This portal thing, though, you're getting guys with known college production.
I know.
In some instances, I mean, we're all excited about the kid from Alabama, but until you see him play, I mean,
and we got to wait a whole year to see what's actually going to happen with it.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's going to wrap us up tonight or this morning, Christmas Eve. Don't forget to go to Mensor's, get that final gift. We appreciate our partners over there at Mensor's. Hope everyone has a Merry Christmas, and we are going to see you guys. I don't know if we'll probably see you before 2025.
For sure.
At least one more time.
Yeah.
But Merry Christmas to all.
And to all the Who's.
I was trying to think of a way to incorporate that.
Go Who's.